Hello again, Dominic Trophy, and welcome to another video. And this one's going to be something video game related, and it's actually going to be about my thoughts of Xbox One's backwards compatibility. Now, as we all know, obviously, when the Xbox One first launched in November 2013, the Xbox One did not have backwards compatibility. And Microsoft's solution, if you want to say that, was basically to connect your Xbox 360 and connect the HDMI cable into the HDMI in feature on the Xbox One. And that's how you got your backwards compatibility. But during 2014, it was definitely something I think Microsoft was questioning about whether or not to bring, to the Xbox One. And during E3 2015, they actually brought that to the Xbox One and announced that the Xbox One was going to have backwards compatibility with the Xbox 360. And my thoughts about that were, when it was first announced, was I thought it was really, really cool to have that. Because a lot of people like to play those old games on the new console. And the reason why they do it is really for ease of access. Because they don't want to keep bringing out, old hardware to play, the old games and stuff. Which I do agree on, but obviously a lot of people like to bring out the old hardware and, play those old games. But I quite like the idea, I think, of playing the old games on the new system. Like I've always liked backwards compatibility because it brings new life to those old games on the new platform, and it's great when you have that ability to do that. And it was definitely something that made me enticed to buying an Xbox One. So it did. And eventually I did get one a couple of years later, so I did. And I actually did try out a few games, which I've got here. So the first one I've got is obviously Burnout Paradise, the Ultimate Box. Now, obviously, the Burnout game is backwards compatible on the Xbox One. And I played a bit of it, and it's actually quite a good game and stuff. I quite like the Burnout games. It's been a while since I played them and stuff. But it was great that we got Burnout Paradise to be compatible on the Xbox One, which is really, really good. And interestingly enough, there's actually a remaster, like they're re-releasing this game for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One next week. So they are, the 16th of March, so that's pretty good and stuff. But still, whether or not you'll be playing the remaster or the original, still a good game. Another one I got is the Orange Box, which is the Valve collection of, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episodes 1 and 2, Team Fortress 2 and Portal. A great little collection of the Valve games and stuff, and it's definitely worth, playing and stuff. It plays really, really well on the console. Usuals, same as usual, it plays well, but still a good game and stuff. I also have that for the PS3 as well. I quite enjoyed it on there as well. The Dreamcast collection with, Sega Bass Fishing, Sonic Adventure, and Crazy Taxi. Great games on the collection and stuff, well worth playing and stuff. The only one that's not compatible on there is Space Shuttle 5 Part 2. And I hope that they do add that, because, if they do add this, a lot of people will definitely go out and buy this collection of Dreamcast games. Even though it's only 4, it's still worth your time and stuff, and, playing these old games on the Xbox One, because it's quite cheap, that collection. And I've also got Bully Scholarship Edition, which obviously, the Rockstar game and stuff. Never played this before, but I've tried it recently. It's not bad, you know what I mean? I've not really fully got into it, but I definitely will do. But another thing that Microsoft's done, and other developers, is they've re-released certain Xbox 360 games, and obviously added the Xbox One banner on it. So basically, as it says there, play on Xbox One and Xbox 360. And the reason why they're doing that is obviously that it shows obviously that people can go out and buy the games and stuff. And obviously, I think re-releasing them and makes people enticed to buy them. You know what I mean? Whether or not they've played them again, or if it's the first time playing them. So it's really, really good to see that they're doing this. And another thing they've actually done is they've certain games have actually have download codes in them. So, for example, Fallout 4 for the Xbox One as a download code for Fallout 3. So if you've never played Fallout 3, or you don't have the disc copy, you can actually go out and download it and play it and stuff, which is a pretty cool thing to have. But whether or not you have the disc copy, you can still play it on there. And it's great that that Microsoft is adding these as well as other developers and stuff. Now, the way that the backwards compatibility runs, it runs via emulation, and the emulation runs pretty well. So it does. From what I've played, it is well, like I said, they definitely do well, especially with the Xbox 360. The hard architecture being a little bit different to the Xbox One. So it was impressive to see that Microsoft built an Xbox 360 emulator, which works on the Xbox One. And one thing that's also handy and pretty cool is that it also has enhancements on the Xbox One X, which is a pretty cool thing. And I think as well as the Xbox One S, I'm not entirely sure. But it's great to play some of these old games and stuff, well, especially for Bully, because I've never played it before. So that gave me a sense to play it and think, you know what, I'll go out and definitely buy it. So, another thing that was also mentioned is original Xbox compatibility. Now, we got the announcement during E3 2017, and this was definitely something that was questioned to a lot of people. And I remember before even the live stream began, I remember thinking and thought, I'd love to see original Xbox compatibility. And we got it, so we did. Original Xbox compatibility was announced during E3 2017, and it was definitely one of those things that got people really, really excited, myself included. And I remember when I watched the live stream and I talked about this, during my thoughts of Microsoft's E3 presentation, and I even said that in the video that I went balls crazy. I was really, really excited. And I remember my mother was watching a bit of it, and she was confused why the heck I got so excited, and why everyone in the audience was so excited, because obviously you can play old games on a new console. And it was definitely a great thing to have on there. That it was definitely an added bonus that you've basically got 3 consoles into one unit, which is a great, thing to have. And I quite liked that ability, to have all that included and stuff. Now, the way the original Xbox games run is via emulation as well. Microsoft built an original Xbox emulator, so they were able to run these games on the Xbox One. And a nice thing about it is that they are actually enhanced on, I think, both on the original Xbox One and the Xbox One S. But on the Xbox One X, the enhancements on it are obviously way more than on the original Xbox One and the S model. And I've actually played these on an Xbox One S, because that's the one I own. And you can definitely see the improvements on it. It really, really is improved really, really well. It's amazing to see these old games, especially with Fusion Frenzy, which came out in 2002, so it did. I love this game, but it's flipping amazing. Make Fusion Frenzy free, Microsoft. It'd be good, that. Yes. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about is obviously how the games play and stuff. Now, obviously, unlike other consoles that have backwards compatibility, well, disc-based consoles, you usually put the disc in and it just, obviously, it's spinning and reads it, so it does. With the Xbox backwards compatibility, basically how the Xbox works is that you have to, obviously, you put the disc in, and if the game is supported, that basically what the Xbox One does is, think of it as a brain really, where obviously a disc is inserted, it tries to read what that software is, then it recognises it and thinks, okay, is this game compatible? Yes, it is. So what it does is, it basically grabs code from the cloud, puts it onto the Xbox One's hard drive, and then installs it. Basically, that's what it does. Same with the Xbox 360, that's how it works as well. And the reason why they doing that is because of the fact that they don't want these old games spinning constantly. And basically what the Xbox One does, it reads it, and then obviously it starts installing. Same way with Xbox One games. So if you put an Xbox One game into the console, it starts downloading, installing, so it does. And that's what it does. And they do the same with these, which is a bit of an issue with that, because obviously people may say, well, you're not really using the discs and stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's sort of like the same with the Xbox One. You know what I mean? Obviously, you put the disc in and it starts reading. That's what it does, which isn't really it doesn't really bother me, so it doesn't. But one thing that sort of makes people think is longevity of this backwards compatible service program. And the reason being is because of the fact that you basically need, obviously, an internet connection to install these games, which isn't really good on the long run, especially in the far future when Microsoft discontinues the Xbox One, where you cannot even download any of these games. So even if, for example, if you maybe have an internet issue at the meantime, where you're unable to connect your Xbox One to the internet. Let's just say, for example, if I am trying to install Fusion Frenzy, I'll put the disc in, and it'll just bring up the error message that you cannot install it, even though this game is supported, which isn't really good in the long run, because the backwards compatibility on it is going to be quite limited and basically unavailable in the far future. So any compatible games that are installed on your hard drive is the only way you're going to be able to play these old games in the far future, which isn't a good thing. You know, you could say the same with the PlayStation 4's PS2 Classics, because you basically need to use the digital store, the PlayStation Store, to access these games. And again, whether or not you are offline and on the PlayStation 4, you are unable to access these digital games and purchase them because of the fact you are not on the internet. That's going to happen as well in the far future when Sony turns the PS4 servers off. You will be able to do it. So the backwards compatibility is going to be quite limited for both Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 via its PS2 Classics. So I think in the meantime, obviously you can still use it. You can still, use your original Xbox games, your Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One. And you can still download PS2 games on PS4. But obviously, in the far future, it's going to be a problem. In the meantime, it's fine, but you just have to be careful of that. Also, one thing that Microsoft is offering here are digital releases of these old games on the Xbox One. So you can download them if you don't have any of these old games, which is a good thing as well. And I quite like that and stuff. One thing I do hope for the future is for the Xbox BC program is that they definitely add more games and stuff. I think a lot of the Sega ones from the original Xbox would be really cool to see. I think Shenmue 2 would be a good one to add, especially when the third game is on the way. So whether or not you want an Xbox One, and if that game is ever added, you can just put the disc in, it'll install it, and then you can start playing afterwards. And I think overall, that actually might entice a lot of people to replay the games again, you know what I mean? Which will be a good thing to have. Overall, I do hope that we see more games from that list and stuff. It is quite nice that they do allow you to use discs and stuff. I know people moan about with the PS2 games on the PS4, but the difference of that is I don't know, I'll call it backwards compatibility, but the PlayStation 4's PS2 Classics isn't really backwards compatibility. It's basically a classic service that they're offering you, similar to Nintendo's Virtual Console. That's basically what it is, you know what I mean? And it's quite a shame that people mock that because you can't use your discs. But the thing is, Nintendo's been doing it for years, you know what I mean, with the Virtual Console. But I think the reason why people give Nintendo a pass is because of the fact they've been doing the Virtual Console for years. Whereas for Sony, people think, they still use discs, so you should be able to do it that way. You know what I mean? I don't really care, you know what I mean? As long as you're playing these old games and having fun, you know what I mean? I don't really care if I'm playing old games or purchasing the same PS2 game 3 times, you know what I mean? It doesn't really bother me. It really doesn't bother me. But, yeah. Apart from that, I just want to say, hope we do see some good stuff in the future for it and stuff. And obviously, in the meantime, Xbox One is sort of lacking in exclusives and stuff. So obviously, as I said, yes or no, depending on how you take it and stuff. It's good that they are offering this service and stuff for the past 2 years and stuff. But they definitely do need, more exclusives and stuff. But that's going to be another video for another day. But, yeah, backwards compatibility, really cool thing. And I'm glad to see that, you know, we will be getting more compatibility support in the far future. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts about this site. You know, what are your thoughts about Xbox One's backward compatibility? Are there any games any games you've been revisiting again and playing them on the Xbox One? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I'd love to hear what your thoughts about that are. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later. Like I said, I'll be doing my regular video on Saturday, as well as my Alex Francis video on Friday. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Hope the weather is getting a lot better in your region, wherever you are. It's pretty much gone where I am in the city I live in, which is really, really good. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.